Manipur.
I just,
Naka.
shall we?
Yeah.
Ni sambula vinakasaka na turana na marama. Wala. Gasana Vanivalu, Turangana Matana Dika, Nakoroivau Women's Group and Villages, members from the Provincial Office, government officials, Talapalangase, ladies and gentlemen. Nisimbula Vinakasaka. And a very good morning to you all. As you know, today I am here on behalf of our Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Sittimeni Rambuka. And I am honored on his behalf to officiate at the commissioning of the Women's Resource Center and handing over of the kitchen items you requested. Thank you for welcoming me into your village, and I sincerely acknowledge and appreciate the traditional welcome accorded to me and the government official team. In 2022, the Office of the Prime Minister had received a letter of request from the President of the Women's Group seeking assistance for the completion of your Women's Resource Center. When the coalition government came into the office, they saw your request, and the Office of the Prime Minister, through the small grant scheme, decided to assist with your request. The prerogative of the utilization of this fund solely lies with the Honorable Prime Minister, and he gave this project a priority to be assisted despite many requests his office receives. As our Honorable Prime Minister is committed to supporting women's social and economic empowerment initiatives. The coalition government has invested in a sum of $28,871 for this project, and it's a testament of our government's unwavering commitment to efforts of our rural women. Traveling in here, I realize how far it is for you to come out to the town. And I must say that the government is very aware of the issues faced by rural women. Access to service in such faraway place is always a challenge. And access to opportunities is also a challenge. I realize there's no primary school here, and to access education is not easy for our children. Building of your own resource center will provide a space for many types of training. And this space, service providers could also use to serve the village. This will also be a safe space for women to meet and work on skills development for economic empowerment. In providing this assistance, the coalition government, through different agencies, is committed to ensuring that rural women have improved access to information, access to market for your crops and your seafood, and of course, value chain development. Our local resources and traditional skills are important for sustainability of our community, and some of these skills could also feed into the market. the mets and the crafts that you're able to produce, but also the seafood. Because some of these skills could feed into the market as those in diaspora value these and try and access these art forms. Tourism on our shores that could assist in income generation for our communities as well. I must say that there are many matters of concern facing our women. Nationally, you know that 1 in every 3 women in our communities face intimate partner violence. They often carry wounds of these injuries for a lifetime. Cervical cancer and breast cancer are killing our women because of lack of detection on time. In such faraway places, if you don't go to health centers on time, these could become life-threatening. Added to these, you have diabetes, cardiac and kidney disease that are burdening our communities. We have horrific data released from the Director of Public Prosecutions each month indicating that more than 60% of all sexual crimes are against our children. And sadly, perpetrators are getting younger, as young as 10 years old. We are also seeing regular reports of our very young children caught with drug use. Sadly, as a community, we're not talking about these issues of moral decay and neglect of our children among our own communities. I'm hoping that mothers and fathers in this room and in this community will rise to the occasion and not only talk about these issues and discuss it, but take measures to protect your children. Many villages in the Western Division and are now taking measures to see, because we all know when drug is used in our villages. We all know the impact of some of these things in the different households. And the village leaders in many of our communities are now taking strong steps to make sure that our children and our women and the vulnerable in our communities are protected. I'm hoping that the resource center can also be used for education and information dissemination on these issues, as well as health awareness on cancer and other non-communicable diseases, as well as our mothers' and children's health issues. You may know that our children are some of the most malnourished in the country, even though we have abundance of food. It's said that 80%, the data says 80% of our children below the age of 2 are anemic. They don't have enough iron in their body to take oxygen to their brain, and that's the time when the brain is formed. Things like seafood and green leafy vegetables could feed them and give them nutrition. But often we feed our children with processed foods when they're very, very small, and that impacts their growth. So these awareness and education could also happen at the resource center. Everybody knows that women play important roles in our rural economy as fishermen, as fisherfolk, as farmers, as entrepreneurs. And you also take responsibility for the well-being of the members of the families, including providing food and care for children and the older persons. Through social and economic empowerment programs, we know women will have more tools in supporting their households and communities in improving rural livelihoods and overall well-being of the community. In conclusion, I'd like to just say that this assistance reaffirms the Honorable Prime Minister's intent to promote alternative livelihood for women and to also enhance the development of women in our communities. Moreover, the government will always assist with initiatives aimed at promoting rural women's participation in social and economic empowerment activities in order to level the playing field and to help reduce poverty through empowerment. It is not easy when you are at such a distance, at such a faraway place, with distance and transportation as a challenge. And government will continue to add more effort and resources to allow us to achieve our target in a timely manner. In spite of the challenges of the past COVID-19 pandemic, the ongoing war between countries that impacts the cost of living here, the never-ending impacts of climate change, you're living on foreshore and you know, that has led to economic disruptions and caused adversities on our livelihood. Our government is steadfast in making progressive strides towards achieving our national development plan, together with SDG 5 goals. SDG 5 is focused on empowerment of women on all fronts. Today, as we celebrate this development, we'd like to use this opportunity to listen to the challenges you face and what you envision for your future and the future of your children. Depending on the needs you have, we can invite different agencies. We have Ministry of Women, we have Office of the Prime Minister here, we have the Tailevu Provincial Council. Through them, we'll be able to invite various service providers depending on the needs you have. And we are hoping that through the Resource Center, we can offer you various services that you may be needing, including setup of cooperatives, development of micro-enterprises, health awareness, market access for your crops. So once again, thank you for allowing us to come in today on behalf of the Prime Minister to hand over the Resource Center and the materials you'd requested. And I'm hoping we'll be able to listen to you while we are here and take your issues of concern back to the government. Nakoroivau.
Ms. Sashi Kiran, representatives from the Tailevu Provincial Council, representatives from the Prime Minister's Office and other government offices, church leaders, village elders, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Song of Nakoroivau, it is indeed my great pleasure to move the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to acknowledge our Lord Almighty for giving us the lovely weather for the program to commence. To our honorable guest, chief guest, Madam Tailevu, for being with us today. I extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for gracing us with your presence today. Your dedication to advocating for women's rights and empowerment is truly inspiring. We are particularly grateful for your commitment in advocating for women's empowerment, which are making a significant impact to the lives of women across our community and our country. Our appreciation is also extended to the High Office of the Prime Minister. Without the kind donations, it could have been taken us not months, but years to complete our project. This resource center will be for our generation in the many years to come. To everyone else that donated physically, not in any kind, but we did not mention, from the bottom of our heart as mothers. Nakoroivau. Now I would like to request my fellow mothers to show their appreciation in the usual manner.